Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Chicago State University, the Western Athletic Conference, and Cougar Athletics, welcome to the Emil and Patricia Jones Convocation Center for the second half of our men's-women's basketball doubleheader featuring the Kangaroos of UMKC and your Chicago State Cougars. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the visiting Roos of UMKC. Starting at one guard, a 6'3" senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, number 1, Nelson Kirksey. Also at a guard, a 5'11" freshman from Kansas City, Missouri, number 12, Martez Harrison. Also at a guard, a 6'6" junior from Kansas City, number 13, Frank Williams Jr. At a forward center, at 6'9", a senior, number 21 from Cleveland, Ohio, Fred Chapman. And at a forward, a 6'7" senior from Kansas City, Kansas, number 40, Trinity Hall. The head coach of the UMKC Kangaroos in his first season is Kareem Richardson. His associate head coach is Angus Thorpe, and assistant coaches are Connor Hampton and Jason Sauter. And now let's meet the starting lineup for our Chicago State Cougars. Starting at one guard, a 6-foot junior from Bolingbrook, Illinois, number 14, Rajan Muhammad. Also to guard, a 6'3" junior from Skokie, Illinois, number 35, Clark Rosenberg. And a guard forward, a 6'4" senior from Hamburg, Arkansas, number 33, Quinton Pippen. And a forward, a 6'6" senior from Chicago, number 1, Eddie Denard. And the other forward, a 6'8" senior from Dixon, Illinois, number 42, Matt Ross. The head coach of the Chicago State Cougars in his 4th season is Tracy Dildy. His associate head coach is James Carr, and the assistant coaches are Sean Pryor and Matt Raidberg. The director of operations is Dexter Young. And our officials for this afternoon's game assigned by the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC, are Winston Stith, Ryan McDaniel, and Brad Fowler. Matt Ross and Trinity Hall will jump it up to start our game. Out of bounds, last touch by the Roos. Traveling violation, possession to the Cougars. Three-point basket by Quinton Pippen. The rebound and basket by Fred Chapman. The rebound and basket by Fred Chapman. Count the basket, Trinity Hall. Fouls on number 42, Matt Ross. That's his first. It's the first team foul on the Cougars. Jacoby Bledsoe checks into the lineup.
Substitution, we're taking out Kurtzy and putting in number 10, Jacoby Bledsoe. Hall at the line for Kansas City.
Our referees, Winston Stith, Ryan McDaniel, and Brad Fowler.
And it was in and out. Ross with the rebound there over to Rosenberg. Rosenberg over to Pippen. Cross court pass to Muhammad. And I could see where he was going with that. Nice heart there by him.
That's a good way to stay at it. He didn't give up on a play. He got his shot blocked, but he still continued to go after the ball.
And
really
he will go to the line. Yeah, like you said, great effort. Even after he didn't complete the first one, he was ready to rebound his own ball, and that's always important.
Y'all didn't hear me inside, did you? Because I was inside, I was going, that's my man. Okay, good. First basket is good.
First one good by Muhammad.
Hello to our sponsors, Bentonhauser, Chrysler Jeep Dealership, Weiss Ortho, and Oaklawn Hilton. Thank you and welcome.
We're bringing in Kruger. I don't know if I like that. And the second one is good for Muhammad. Brought in Kruger for Kansas City. And Johnson for Kansas City as well. Harrison takes the long shot. Ooh, and it was nice, right in. No hesitation there. Rosenberg brings the ball up the court for CSU. calling a play out here, looking for someone to complete his play. And foul was on Eddie Denard. CSU does not want to be in foul trouble early. A lot of times you'll see that with them. Their DePaul game, they had 3 major guys, foul out. It was Eddie Denard. I think it was Matt Ross and Quinton Pippen. All 3 were out. Or no, Clark Rosenberg. I'm sorry, not Matt Ross. All were out towards the end of the game. So they definitely want to be aware of how many fouls they're getting early on because they don't want to, in the second half, have to be worried about that.
Yeah, correct.
And plus, they're all valuable assets to their team.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that Coach Dildy will always attest. He will always say, you know what, there's not really one MVP on my team. I can pull anybody off my bench, and they're going to contribute and play just as good as, one of my starters. So he loves to say that and he really does. He has so much talent on his team that you don't want to lose anyone.
Even with his freshmen. Last season, a freshman didn't play. This season, it's a lot of minutes there with Kurt and a couple of the other freshmen on the team.
Jared DeMacos. I think they're sophomores, or freshmen, you're right. And even with them, they're in playing just as much time as, a lot of other players, so.
And I'd like to send this timeout to one of our announcers. Bill, this timeout is for you because if you look over to the Roos, they're doing their timeout on the floor.
And he loves to talk about that, right? Timeout on the floor all the time. That's what I thought you were asking. I thought that they did that so that no one behind them could, overhear their play or what it is that they're talking about. But you were talking about the actual coaches earlier.
In the earlier game, I was talking about when the coaches just come out to the floor. That's one thing. But when you do your whole team timeout on the floor.
And Roos have possession of the ball. We got number 10 here.
One of the freshmen.
Bledsoe. Over to Harrison. Harrison up high took that ball. And Denard blocked it. Like the big man move. Over to Matt Ross, over to Muhammad, and then over to Kurt Karras. Over to Pippen. Right back to Karras. Over to Ross. They're going so quick. Over to
You get
Karras.
whiplash.
Here we go, right? Got whiplash here going on. Over to Pippen. Pippen tried to pass to what looks like Muhammad in the corner, but it was really out of bounds.
No, it was deflected, I think.
Bounds, okay. And some early stats. As of right now, Chicago State is 1 of 9, which is 11% in field goals, while Kansas City is 57%, 4 of 7. Denard has possession of the ball for CSU over to Pippen. Pippen calls out the play here, trying to make something work over to Karras. Karras finds Muhammad on the outside. He takes the shot. It's no good. Kruger with the rebound over to Harrison. Harrison's going to go over to Bledsoe. Bledsoe found Harrison on the outside. He tried to penetrate in between Karras and Pippen, what it looks like.
It's good to see Muhammad in there. He doesn't get in a lot, and he is not afraid to put up a shot. And most guys, when they don't get a lot of time, they're a little timid on taking those shots, but I was liking that in his game.
Absolutely. A quick substitution with him out, and we're bringing in Nate Duhan. And Caleb Johnson has possession of the ball for Kansas City. He tried to tip it up over Eddie Denard. That wasn't really going. Pippen had possession of the ball over to Karras. Karras back to Duhan. Back to Karras. Karras listening to Pip as he calls out something. He finds Ross in the corner. Denard by the basket, shoots it out to Pip. Pip takes a long 3, and it's good.
And the thing about their offense, they go inside, outside, and they make sure that they can see the shooters so they can spot out and knock those shots down.
Great ball movement here by Kansas City. Ball out back to Bledsoe. Bledsoe found Johnson. Johnson over to Kruger over here. And the ball's taken away by Karras. Karras finds Pippen. Pippen back to Karras. Karras tries to try to take it home to the basket. A foul is called on Bledsoe. That's his first, and that is the second team foul for Kansas City.
Now, if you're listening to us on WCSU iHeartRadio, the CSU Cougars, they're kind of look like they're holding back just to see, what's going to happen. And at any time, like a snake, they're just ready to strike.
Pippen inbounds the ball halfway down the court to Karras. Karras looking to set a play up here. He has Harrison in his face. Passes over to Duhan to the left. Finds Denard under the basket. Loses the ball there.
The big man cannot put that ball on the court.
And Hall has possession of the ball with Karras in his face. He pass over to number 13, Williams Jr. was no good.
That's good hustle.
Duhan there. There you go.
And
nice
that is a
dunking.
great fast break.
Fast break. With Matt Ross there. Nice little dunk in. Score is 10-9 in favor of CSU. 12 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first half.
And Coach Dildy has such a deep bench over there.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt comes off the bench and he's instant offense. He's intense, and now they're up by 1 point.
Absolutely.
With just for him coming in, him and Duhan coming in with their energy off the bench.
Kansas City has possession of the ball. Good acting
right,
there
Eddie.
by Eddie Denard. Let I mention that he is a CMAT major.
Yes.
Good job, Mr. Washington. Are you his teacher? Are you his professor over there? I know you are. You better get an A for that performance.
Yeah, because that was some great acting. That was some great acting.
He bounced after
I
he hit the
know,
floor. His whole
exactly.
body.
Yeah.
That was very good.
NBA ready.
Kurt Karras with the ball over to Ross. Ross over to Pippen. Pippen back to Karras in the corner. Karras looking, finds someone. Duhan in the absolute corner, takes it home to the basket, tips it in, and it's great. Yes, the energy from CSU right now, and the fans, the crowd, cheerleaders, everyone is really getting involved, and this is a great look for CSU. That's what you want in a home, that's what they call home court advantage.
And your home environment.
Exactly.
You see the emotion on Dewey after he actually made the basket.
Yes. That's
Right
what you
now,
want.
CSU is about a 3 on the swagger meter right now. They're getting there.
And his free throw is good. Made that a 3-point play. Foul was called, I think, right on Duhan.
Yeah. He was just a little, overwhelmed after the basket.
Got a little excited.
Yeah, just a little excited after.
Kansas City will inbound the ball. Harrison looking to pass to someone. Curtsy over here. Curtsy over to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. is going to find Hall and Kruger right under the basket. Great ball movement.
Great high-low action.
Yes. That's how ball is played. Karras with the ball. Briefly talking it over with Pippen and Duhan here. Passes to Pippen. Denard in the middle, back to Ross. Ross over to Duhan in the corner. Spins around, tries to get it over to Pippen. Pippen on the outside fakes and passes way over to Denard on the other side. Karras in the middle, passes to Ross. Ross takes the shot himself. No good. Close but no cigar. Williams is going to bring the ball up the court for Kansas City. Williams over to Harrison in the corner. Harrison's had Denard and Ross on him. Made that one pretty hard. He had to pass over to Hall. Foul called, and no one clearly agrees with that one if you're on the CSU side.
Yeah, that has to be the makeup call.
Well, I thought his feet was planted. I think that's a rough call on the part.
Well, you know what? I don't want to say anything about the refs because clearly they're listening to me. Before game, I had a ref come up to me and say he had a bone to pick with me. He just knew it was me. So I'm going to just be a little bit nicer towards him. Let's just hope he's fair, okay? It's all we want is fair.
Sometimes we have to call it like we see it.
Exactly. You hear that, ref? Brief timeout here. We're going to have our cheerleaders come out, do some entertainment. We also have our lovely band here, CSU band. Now, speaking of the previous game where Pippen, did win the game in the last 1.7 seconds of the game, Kanika, are you really thinking Kansas City feels like they were stripped of that victory?
I wouldn't say they feel like they were stripped of the victory, but they definitely think that they probably could have won that game. Mm-hmm. So coming into this game, they're probably thinking, well, we can win this game because that was anybody's game at the end.
Yeah.
So they're very confident about that they can get a W here. And I'm pretty sure just on the other side, Chicago State is pretty confident that they can beat them again.
They're confident they can beat them again. You know what? That's great, though, because we can totally see that on the court. Both teams are coming in aggressive. Both of them are trying to set their own tempo for the game. And this is the type of game that I always love to see, regardless if it's men or women, just seeing both of them ready to play, both coming in with big heart. And we're coming out of a brief timeout here.
Offensively, Chicago State, they have 3 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive. That second chance is very important. However, Kansas City with only 1 offensive rebound. So I guess we are controlling the boards. As I said earlier, I hope that CSU will at least go for a minimum of 37 in the first half. So no matter which way it goes at halftime,
it can go either way pretty much is what you're saying, And first free throw for Hall is good. Still waiting here for a second. And that one's no good. That was so quick. We had about 2 or 3 different people touch the ball before it went out of bounds here.
That's good hustle by Kersey.
Yes.
Just trying to keep that ball alive.
Clark Rosenberg coming in for Matt Ross.
And Kansas City inbounds the ball. We have Kirksey with the ball. He had 3 bodies on him over to Harrison. Ball stolen by Duhan. Almost went out of bounds here. Nice
good ball
save.
Control. Good ball control.
Yeah, he saved it right in the end. Over to Karras. Karras looking to set something up. Penetrate on the inside, but still passes over to Duhan. Duhan passes inside to Denard. That was a good pass right there. Great assist by Duhan. Finding the, like you said, finding the big man.
Yeah, that's a great move by Eddie Denard, using his body to go into him. And the Cougars are playing some really good on-ball defense. And when they dip their shoulder, they're there to take the offensive foul.
Absolutely.
Kanika, so you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm an old school ball player, so I still like to play with the big man. So when you hear me say big man, why is he saying big man? Because I like the big man being in the game.
It's all about the guards.
Yeah, see, you would say that. You would say that.
I have to give you the ball.
There you go. Big man can't get the ball.
See, all about the guards.
Yes. And great play there by Karras. He took it home and put 2 on the board for CSU. Kansas City has possession of the ball now, finding Harrison in the corner. He tries to take the shot and puts 2 on the board himself. Current score is 17 of 14 in favor of CSU. 9 minutes, 55 seconds left in the first half. Duhan has possession of the ball here for CSU. Tries to penetrate himself, passes out to Pippen. Pippen looks to pass to someone. He's trying to find what looks to be Rosenberg. Passes it to Rosenberg, setting up the play here. Rosenberg had Johnson on him. He passed over to Denard. Denard right back to Rosenberg. Still Johnson in Rosenberg's face. Rosenberg tried to go on the inside, but the ball just slowly went out of bounds.
Now remember what I said earlier about getting Ross and Pippen up at the top of the key. You see how Kansas City is respecting that three-point shot, and that changed everything offensively. They had a chance to go in the paint.
Kansas City has possession of the ball. We got Jacoby Bledsoe. Ball goes to CSU. Duhan brings the ball up the court, tips it in, but it's no good. Rebound there by Harrison. Harrison brings the ball right back up the court. Had Denard and Pippen and Duhan on him. Passed over to Kurtzy, slowing it down just a little bit. Kurtzy over to Williams Jr. Looks like he's going to pass to Harrison. Harrison penetrates inside. Ball's taken away. Denard passes it right back over to...
Oh, behind the back. What a move.
Behind the back move by Duhan, but it didn't finish through.
That would have been a nice play.
Beautiful if it would have just put 2 on the board.
Yeah, I would have put up
You saw where he was going with it.
I would have put up a 5.0 on that attempt.
Just for the attempt.
Just for the attempt.
Oh, a 12 for the basket if that would have worked.
Right. Absolutely. Brief timeout here, or was a timeout. Now we're going to have Corey Gray in for the Cougars. Over to Rosenberg in the side. Rosenberg looking to pass. Passes over to DeMacos, who's also in for the Cougars. Gray over to Rosenberg. Rosenberg inside pass to Denard. Denard had Korver on him. Rosenberg goes up, puts 2 on the board for the Cougars. And that was a foul. 6-team foul on the Roos. As Rosenberg will make this a 3-point play if he makes this free throw shot. And it's no good. Rebounded there by Williams Jr. Giving the ball over to Kurtzy. Kurtzy to Bledsoe, back to Kurtzy, back to Harrison. Williams Jr. in the corner takes the shot, and it's no good. Ball's tipped out of bounds. And it was last touched by the Roos, so it will be CSU possession once we come out of this brief timeout. All right, Anthony, what are you feeling right now? Call it like you see it.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little worried about, for both sides, the first half scoring. I thought it would have been a little bit more scoring, but I think they're feeling each other out. I think they're taking their time and not doing silly passes or plays.
Absolutely. And Kanika, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a really good up and down game. I like the tempo. I like the pushing the ball. I like the inside-outside game that both teams are really playing. I mean, they're going to make shots. I think coming down the line, they're going to start to make shots. So I think it's going to be a good game. I like the game so far.
Me too. I definitely feel like you can't call anything right now. Both teams are really, like you said, Anthony, kind of feeling each other out. You know, scoreboard doesn't have too much of a difference on it. No one's really dominating. It's kind of just been like, you know, go for go pretty much.
I just can't imagine the second half.
Yeah. You know, we'll be there in about 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Still brief timeout here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets ready for the conference game happening in Vegas. I think the weather is still nice there.
I think I need to go. I was supposed to go for my 21st and didn't go. I need to redo.
Yeah, so, you know, ladies and gentlemen, staff here at CSU, if you have extra tickets, be sure to give them to the announcers. We will be more than happy.
I call dibs.
The weather will be lovely down there.
I'm sure.
When we go, it'll probably all the snow and the sun will be here.
Clark Rosenberg inbounds
I'll be sure
the ball.
to tell you guys about it.
Thanks a lot. Over to DeMacos over to Denard. Denard finds Pippen. Pippen inside pass to Clark Rosenberg right under the basket. He puts 2 on the board. Great communication by CSU. making use of all your men on the court, you know?
It's a great pass, great looking, great finish. They're playing with each other, moving the ball, sharing the ball. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Coach Richardson, that was a quick timeout. He must have seen something he didn't like.
Yeah, it was so quick, even his own players didn't realize he called it. And just some brief updates. Chicago State right now is 36% on their free field goal shooting. Free throws are 3 of 4, so around 75%. And three-pointers, 2 of 4, so 50% for them. Kansas City is still only 1 of 5 in three-point shots, so 20% for them. Free throws, 1 of 3, 33%, and field goals, 6 of 13. So they're slowly dropping below that 50% mark, and Chicago State is raising a little bit with them being 46%. Kansas City has possession of the ball, finds Bledsoe here. Bledsoe over to Burke. Back to Bledsoe.
Moving violation, moving pick.
There you go, moving violation it is.
And both teams are really just working hard out there. Good, hard-fought game right now.
Those are always the most entertaining anyway. You never just want to see a blowout game.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be in it at the edge of your seat, not knowing how it's going to go. DeMacos with the ball for CSU. Had Williams Jr. in his face, passes over to Corey Gray, to Denard to Pippen. Pippen fakes. And they said he traveled. I completely disagree with that. His foot was planted.
Yeah, his foot was planted.
His foot was, look, he's still looking at it like,
that's
dude.
all right.
It didn't slide. It didn't.
That was, okay, you know what, Ref, if you're listening, yes, I completely say that's a horrible call.
All right, but we will do that the next time that, you know, the other side can't be biased.
Absolutely. No good. And foul is on number 1, Eddie Denard. Both teams have 7 fouls. And number 42, Kirk Corver, will go to the line for Kansas City.
And number 42, Matt Ross, comes in for Chicago State.
Battle of number 42. They kind of look alike. You never know.
Kurt
A little.
Corver. Maybe he's related to, what's his name that played for the Bulls?
Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver. Maybe he's
Yeah.
related to him.
Could be. And shot is good. Substitution here. We're going to take Corver out for Kansas City. Brought in number 31, Johnson again. CSU has possession of the ball. Pippen over to Ross. Ross right back to Pippen. Back to Gray. Gray calls out a play. DeMacco's yelling something just as well. Over to Rosenberg. Rosenberg has Burke in his face, hands out. Rosenberg tries to penetrate it himself. Finds DeMacco's in the corner. Gray's open. Gray takes the shot, and it's close, but no good. Kurtzy's going to bring the ball up the court. Found Bledsoe in the corner. Fight in there. You almost threw the ball away, but good job by Matt Ross to keep the ball alive.
Great hustle.
Passed it over to DeMacco's. DeMacco's right back to Rosenberg. Right back to DeMacco's. Gray calling out the play here with Bledsoe in his face. Penetrates himself. Passes it to Rosenberg in the corner. Rosenberg dribbles. Takes it home, and it's still no good. Just bounced right off the backboard. Kurtzy with the ball. Over to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. back to Bledsoe. Into
Nice
Johnson.
rip.
He went up, but it was no good. Ball taken by CSU.
And that was Pippen's only play, is to look down to see if the ball ever came that way.
Yep. Gray has possession of the ball. He penetrates in.
That was a great block.
Yes,
great
block
hustle.
there.
Great hustle by number 10.
Johnson. Kurtzy with the ball for Kansas City. Finds Williams Jr. Williams Jr. finds Burke in the corner. He tipped it up, but it was no good. CSU possession. Pippen over to Rosenberg.
Yeah. Both teams right now kind of in a scoring drought.
Yes. Ross continued to kind of just nick away at 31 as he tried to get closer and closer to the net. Falls down.
Okay, now I'll give credit to the refs this game. They were letting them play then because that was a lot of bumping.
That was a lot of contact.
That's why I said he was kind of like nipping away, inching away.
I think what the ref was looking for was a clipping call that he could call because he let Matt do his thing on that.
Yeah, good look on that one. Sometimes I feel like just let the boys play. Kurt Cares with the ball over to Pippen. Good job by Kansas to stay on Pippen like that. Duhan in the middle tries to penetrate, passes outside to DeMarcos. DeMarcos goes in, passes it right back out to Duhan. Duhan takes the shot. 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and it looked like it was going to go in, but it didn't. I totally saw where he was going, though. That shot clock was winding down. He had to take the shot he was given.
And that was interesting. Coach had Pippen posting low, bringing him inside. So that was an interesting play.
And we will have Nelson Kurtzy from Pittsburgh in Kansas City. Shoot a free throw, and it was no good. Pippen with the rebound. Over to Karras. Karras calling it out. Goes to Ross. Ross over to DeMarcos. Back to Ross. Back to Karras. Over to Duhan in the corner. Duhan over to Karras. DeMarcos. Ross. Back to DeMarcos. Back to Karras. Karras trying to figure out how to make it work. Shot into Pippen. Pippen penetrates on the inside, tips it up, and it was no good, but a foul was called. And Pippen's getting a little excited here, a little energized. And that is the 8th team foul on the Roos. Pippen will go to the line and shoot 2. I don't know if I was the Roos if I would have done that. I would be nervous to foul Pippen just because he's such a great shooter.
Right, with a great touch.
You know?
It's kind of a guaranteed too.
Yeah, I would just try to weigh it out, you know?
But they always say the person shooting always misses the second one after the announcer actually says that.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully this statement isn't true.
We take it back, Pippen. We take it back.
Yes.
There you go. Good look by CSU. Kansas City's going to inbound the ball here with Muhammad back in the game for CSU. And we have Kurtzy bringing the ball up the court with Duhan in his face as well as Muhammad. Good hustle there.
Stay in front.
Over to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. found Burke in the corner. He shot it up and put 2 on the board. Nice play there.
Yeah, that's a tough shot to make. Actually, that's a basket that Kansas City really needs because they were on the scoring drought for at least about like 3 or 4 minutes now.
Current score is 23-18 with 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first half. We also had Arthur Gage in the game. We haven't seen much of him. He was out with an injury for most of the season too. It seems like both teams are constantly substituting. There's not just a steady 5 in.
Well, that's how you keep the game fresh. You throw your man. I mean, it's fresh for a team, and each person, each individual out there is like, okay, now I have to adjust to this guy. Now I have to adjust to this guy.
Yeah, throw them off. You never just want to, completely.
Yeah,
you don't want to be predictable.
Yeah, you don't. And on top of that, you want to have a deep bench because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe one of your star players really isn't, their game just shot isn't falling. They can't get anything going. You have a spark off the bench. You have many options on your bench. And Coach Dildy has a deep, long bench with a numerous amount of players that can actually score, and you have great defenders also. So,
absolutely.
And on the same way for Kansas team, they have a deep bench, a good team. So it's always good to have.
Still in a brief timeout here as both coaches are in huddle with teams. Kanika, what is Coach Dildy telling his men?
I would say keep pushing the ball, keep looking for your teammates, keep creating turnovers because they are creating a lot of turnovers for Kansas City. So I would say just convert on those fast break and, just get out and still play. Play hard.
And Anthony, if you're Coach Richardson, what are you telling your team?
Focus.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah, focus, because right now CSU is doing a lot of things out there, and they're kind of watching the game.
Leading scorer for CSU, no surprise, is Quinton Pippen with 8 points, followed by Clark Rosenberg with 4. And for Kansas, we have 5 points with Harrison. Foul called on Muhammad. And that's a 10th team foul on the Cougars.
Well, we will never have to say that was a terrible call, ref, because everybody in the house was saying it.
Yeah, it was all over Muhammad's face, too. 3 minutes, 49 seconds left in the first half. Sent Harrison to the line, and he misses the first shot anyway. He can still, make the second one and take advantage of what everyone thinks is a bad call. And he makes the second one. Good look by Harrison. Karras over to Duhan.
Good shot.
Back to Karras.
Good shot.
And Kansas City, they're just inching away, and bringing themselves back into this game. They're only down by 4 points now, but it's only 2 possessions.
Good pass by Muhammad.
Great assist there by Muhammad over to Matt Ross. Matt Ross followed through, put 2 on the board, and still called the foul, or got a foul called, so can be a 3-point game. Play. Substitution for Kansas City, bringing in number 54, Isaac Kruger.
This is going to be the 11th player for the Chicago State Cougars who has been on the floor and actually playing. Dildy is really going really deep in his bench today.
Absolutely.
And you know
and
what?
Ross makes the shot.
As a coach, and you have a deep bench, it really makes it easier to coach.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of stress out there, but when you know that you have that.
Kansas City with the ball. Harrison over to Williams Jr. Williams Jr. back to Harrison. Back to Williams Jr. Kruger calling the ball. Back to Harrison. Over to Burke, and it's tipped away.
That was a really nice pass by
Yes.
Bledsoe. Really nice pass.
Bledsoe found the guy. Made it work.
Basketball.
And Burke will be going to the line for Kansas City. And he had 2 shots. The first shot is good so far. Current score is now 26-20 in favor of CSU. 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half. It's anybody's game at this point.
2-possession game.
Brief discussion by the refs here. And that was the second foul on Quinton Pippen. We're going to take out Marcus Starks and put Matt Ross back in for the Cougars. And second shot is good by Burke. Free throws are so important, and Kansas City knows it. Karras brings the ball up the court.
That's it. That's it.
Penetrated in, found Muhammad in the corner. Muhammad, quick pass over to Ross. Ross over to Duhan. Duhan on the inside.
Nice
no
pass.
look pass to Kurt Karras, who went up but was fouled. That was great communication by CSU. And Karras will be the line.
Both players are actually playing with each other, playing with their teammates. They're sharing the ball, looking for the open man. Both teams are doing this. And I see Dildy's doing a little offensive-defense strategy here.
Yeah.
Taking out Pippen and Ross to save them from their fouls, which is a good strategy to do.
Absolutely. And you can do that when you have that great bench, you know? You have that opportunity and know that you're not really taking a huge risk. First was good by Karras, second wasn't good. Kansas City has the ball. Bledsoe over to Kirksey. Kirksey over to Bledsoe. Bledsoe back to Harrison with Karras in his face. Burke was screening there. Burke has possession of the ball. Right back to Harrison on the outside. Harrison tries to penetrate in. Found Williams Jr. on the inside. No good. That was great play by Kansas City.
And tough defense, CSU.
Yeah, great defense by CSU.
Just got to come out with that ball.
The way I counted it, CSU denied about 4 shots.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? Kansas City was standing strong. They were continuing to, to fight for the ball, and that's why right now we have Harrison at the line.
And Kanika, you called it. I like the substitution that Coach Dildy is doing.
And that first shot by Harrison was no good. More substitution, like you say, for CSU, bringing in Clark, Rosenberg, Matt Ross, and Pippen again, taking out Muhammad. And he makes the second. Karras with the ball for CSU. Brings the ball up the court. He had Bledsoe on him. Somehow found Rosenberg in the corner. Over to Duhan. Duhan looks. Moves around the court. Tries to find who he's looking for. Matt Ross back to Duhan. It was trying to be an inside pass to Pippen. Foul was called, and Pippen was happy about that one. You could see it on his face.
They're trying to take advantage of the height advantage down low because Quinton Pippen has a smaller guard on him, and that just works for them, an advantage down low.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Pippen at the line for the Cougars. First shot is good. Substitution. Bringing in Kirksey for Kansas City and taking out Crewer and bringing in Marcus Starks for CSU. Pippen's second is good. He's coming out, and we're going to bring in Johnny Griffin, number 3 for CSU. Kansas City with possession of the ball. Bledsoe's going to bring the ball up the court.
Play tight. Play tight.
Found Williams Jr. He fakes. He had Marcus Starks in his face. Passed over to Kirksey. Kirksey has Rosenberg on him. He penetrates on the inside. Starks and Rosenberg on him. Take possession of the ball by CSU.
That was great rotation by Duhan. No reset on the shot clock.
I'm not sure what that was.
There's no reset on the shot clock.
Okay.
Thank you, Kanika. I thought I was going blind.
I didn't see that one. I was like, okay, what was called? Because I know that wasn't a foul.
Yeah, sometimes with this new system that they have, it's like basically the whistles that the referee blows, it ignites the shot clock and the game. It ignites the shot clock and the game clock. So when it's a start and stop.
Awesome.
Yes, work it.
Karras penetrates inside, shoots out to Pippen. Pippen takes the 3-point shot, and it's good. And Dildy calls a timeout there.
Inside, outside. When the defense collapses, find your shooters.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So I'm not biased. This is for both teams. When someone shoots like that, they should have like theme music after them, Just play a little theme music. The Weather Girls, it's raining 3-pointers. I don't know.
Yeah, there
something
you go.
like that.
Current score is 32-22 in favor of CSU. 1 minute and 23 seconds left. If you are Coach Richards, Anthony, what are you telling them? They're down by 10. I mean, they only have a minute left. What are they going to do to change right before halftime, or are they just going to make the adjustments in the second half?
Come on, guys. Play a little bit tighter. We're going in the locker room down. We got to focus. We got to get it here. Because, see, both coaches are aware that when you go into the locker room, one of you are going in, with the exception of a tie, one of you are going in having the advantage.
Absolutely. Kansas City with possession of the ball. Williams Jr. over to Harrison. Harrison's going to bring the ball up the court with Duhan in his face. He's looking, it looks like to have Burke is going to screen here. Marcus Starks in Harrison's face. Duhan hand in his face. Burke takes possession of the ball and puts 2 on the board right in front of
Very
Duhan.
nice move.
Yes, made it look so easy. CSU over to Rosenberg. Rosenberg has possession. 1 minute left. He's going to penetrate and pass right back out to Johnny Griffin. Johnny Griffin under the basket, tried to get it up. And it was no good.
That was good defense.
52 seconds left. The first half, Bledsoe has the ball.
Kansas City needs to convert on this and get a stop on the other end.
Over to Harrison. Harrison looked like he was going to take the shot, but he decided to drive it in a little bit more and put 2 on the board himself. Karras with possession of the ball. 30 seconds left. Almost the same on the shot clock, maybe 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Karras over to Rosenberg. Rosenberg winding the time down just a smidge. Looking for someone to pass it to, unless he's going to take it himself. 14 seconds left. 8 seconds. Rosenberg still with the ball. Takes it in himself. Tipped it up, and it was no good with 2 seconds. 2.7 seconds left in the first half.
And that is a well-executed play. They got the time down, the shot clock down to when they wanted to go at 6 seconds so that the Roos did not have another chance to go down there and score.
Would you ladies agree with me there's been no wasted moves on either team?
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Yes.
First shot is good by Rosenberg for CSU. He'll shoot one more. Brief substitution here by Kansas City. We're going to bring back in Isaac Crewer. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Corver. And take out Crewer. And second shot is good. 2 seconds left in the game. Kansas City has possession of the ball over to Bledsoe. And he was fouled.
And that is a huge momentum changer. You don't want to foul with 2.6 seconds left, because now, you know, instead of going into the locker room up at 8, you may go down, you know, up by 6. And that gives them confidence going into their locker room.
That's a good point. Great point. And we'll have Bledsoe at the line for Kansas City. First shot was no good.
Fortunately for CSU, this is a low half for Kansas. So they're going into the locker room in good position.
And the second's no good as well. Starks with the rebound, and Duhan just tipped it up.
All good.
Halftime score is 34-26 in favor of CSU. There's so much more basketball left to be played, and both these teams are coming out ready to fight, trying to set the tempo, playing with heart. What are you expecting in the second half, guys?
I'm expecting a lot of excitement. I think that both teams are going to continue the pace that they're on right now. I think Chicago State is going to be a little more aggressive.
I agree.
And I think that Kansas City is going to really try to come out and kind of set the tempo. I think Kurtzky is, I think he's really going to start to shoot more and try to take over the game. I believe that he is their best player, and I think that he's going to come out and take up the game and try to get them back in this game and get their confidence going.
Great point. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. We'll meet you in the second half in 14 and a half minutes. See you then.
Second half coming up. Yeah.